making this video as a warning because nobody warned me. Once your account starts to grow.
Alright, so this is like the 10th video that's come up in my feed on my FYP about people talking about how awful it is to be a content creator when you make it, and he's talking about kind of the things you should be aware of, taxes and stuff. So what this tells me is that people are not educating themselves, which is not really a surprise, but there's a lot of things you have to do. I used to stream on Twitch, okay? So there are things that you have to be aware of. If you haven't made it, as they put it, okay, we'll leave that. If you haven't made it, it's not as big an issue. But when you make it, yes, you're going to get brand deals, you're going to get offers, that's going to happen, okay? Even when I didn't make it, just being on Twitch, you get offers and brand deals. They'll help you grow. They'll promise you the moon, and then they'll sell you a sandy beach with no water. You know, that's how it goes. You have to get legal representation. If you make it, if you start making a significant amount of money, you need to plan out some sort of legal representation. That's going to be a minimum. Have a lawyer on retainer, a business lawyer on retainer of some sort. And then from there, you're going to need to get an agent of some kind to help you navigate these things. Someone that you are going to have to pay that's going to help you with this. Now, he says, and a lot of people have been saying this, that don't think gifts are free. They're not. That is not entirely true. Okay? For the most part, if somebody sends you a product to test out free of charge, yes, they're going to use it as a tax write-off. That doesn't mean you have to necessarily pay taxes on it if you play your cards right. So you need to make sure that you're making legally binding agreements with companies. Sure, I'll review your whatever item. You are giving it to me as a trial, not a gift, but as a trial item that I will review, and as that, you are covering the cost of taxes, right? Because they too can write that off as an advertising expense. They can write the tax portion off, and in most cases in advertising. They know this. They're not going to tell you that. Why would they use that if they can get you to pay for it? Okay? So those are the two things you need. You need some sort of legal representation, and you need someone who can handle stuff like an agent for you. Probably on a third, when you get bigger money, when you're making tons, and if you can't do it yourself, you need to get some sort of a CPA to help you. Somebody that can handle. So 3 people you need. That's anything you're going to do, okay? People need to stop looking at being an influencer as this money well that's free from taxes and stuff. You are essentially a star. We'll put it that way. You need 3 representatives to help you out. You need a team. That's all there is to it. Because you're not going to be able to figure it all out yourself. Some people may be able to, the majority of people won't. You're not going to have the time to review each contract that comes by. Some of the contracts that come by, again, I was not a big-time streamer, and I was being sent contracts, 30, 60-page contracts with terms and conditions on getting products, getting paid, how we're going to help you grow, all of that. And he's absolutely right. They'll take your videos. You need someone to help you navigate so they don't get ownership to your past catalog, because they will take it, remix it, snip it out, put it wherever they want, make you look bad, look a certain way, whatever. That doesn't happen if you have the right representation. General rule of thumb. If you cannot negotiate for yourself, get somebody else to do it for you that knows what they're doing and is on your side, meaning you're paying them. And yes, they're going to take a percentage, but you need to understand that they will do for you as long as you're able to pay them in there. It's important, and it can also help you with growth as well. But too many people, they get viral, make a ton of money, and then don't know what to do. The Hokta girl is a good example of that, but she already has a team, which means she already contracted with someone. Hopefully she had some help with that and just didn't sign up with nothing. At worst, she sold her rights to one of the companies she's working with, so they may take care of it, but that's limited her ability to make money in the future. That's just all there is. So, don't think this is just some kind of safe zone where you do whatever you want. There is so much to this that you cannot go it alone. Now, the other reason, like I said, some people be like, I can read a 30, 60-page contract. Maybe you can, but it's easier to have representation that will back you, shield you, that has already read through these contracts and already knows them. There's representation out there that's familiar with social media and knows this stuff. So they don't have to waste your time and things can move along a lot quicker. If you're making content and that's what you're doing, you probably don't have time to be doing that if you're doing it full time. I do this as a hobby, so I don't really do anything at this point besides the videos. Now, if that changes, thanks to y'all, great. I'll start doing more stuff. I've talked to some friends. I'll think to get a podcast together. It's going to start off very amateurish, but that has the potential to grow. If it does, that means a lot of things are going to change and a lot of things that have to be put in place to make sure everybody's safe. But please make sure you understand what you're getting into. That's the thing. You need to be reading all the fine print of things, all the terms of things. Even if you do lives on this platform, you're so susceptible to having to pay taxes to the money you make. It may not be via TikTok, maybe through PayPal, as that's how you accept your money, but it's still there. So anyway, guys, please look into stuff, and I wish everybody well. I want everybody to make it. I think that a lot of people have a path to being very successful on this platform and others, but they need to do so very carefully. So what are your thoughts, guys? Do you have any questions about this? Maybe I can answer. No, I am not a subject matter expert on this, but I do have some experience in it and have had to deal with some of the contracts and stuff before, so I can answer some of those things for you if you'd like. If not, thanks for watching. Do appreciate it, and please share.